Confessions of a Hypnotist. How can hypnosis make you more successful? That is the question of the hour, isn't it? Hey there, I'm Dan Candell. I'm known worldwide as the Anxiety Relief Guy. And yes, I am a board certified clinical hypnotist. It's my job to help people reprogram their subconscious mind to get more of what they want in life and also reprogram their nervous system to have more wins and losses, more good days and bad days, more breakthroughs and breakdowns, all without unnecessary stress or anxiety or overwhelm. And guess what that means? That means life just gets easier and you don't feel so much resistance, and it's just easier for you to be in the state of flow and focus. Now, if you're new to me, welcome to the conversation. If you're not, welcome back. It's great to have you here. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're here in the comment section. And also let me know your thoughts of what I share in the video. Okay, let's get started. I'm super excited about this one because this is my jam. This is what I do. I help people be more successful or do the things they need to do in order to be more successful. You see, a lot of people say, Dan, is it as easy as just snapping your fingers and telling me on my count of 3, you'll open up your eyes and be more successful? No, it's not that easy because success is not a state of being, it's a state of doing. You have to do the things that are going to make you more successful. And yes, part of it is with your thoughts, part of it is with your feelings, and part of it is with your actions. You see, people often ask, can I think my way into success? And yes, you can, because your thoughts influence your feelings, sensations, and emotions, which influence your behaviors, actions, reactions, and responses. So if you start thinking better about yourself, you start feeling better about yourself, and then you're in a much better emotional state to start doing the things that you need to do in order to be more successful. But guess what, my friends? I'm going to go all the way back to the journey of when I started hypnosis when I was just 12 years old, because I want to give you some insight into how this unfolds and how you can apply this to your life as well. When I was 12 years old, I was a little itty-bitty middle schooler. I was a student, but I wasn't a good one. I had a lot of learning challenges. Now they'd call them learning disabilities, but I don't like the word disability, so I use the word challenge. It was mainly in comprehension. I was also dealing with a lot of childhood trauma as well. I was anxious, I was depressed, I was battling with my own sexuality, and I was just going through a lot of issues when I was younger. And in the midst of being depressed and getting really bad grades in school and feeling like a frickin' failure, my dad took me on a trip, and on that trip, I saw a stage hypnotist. And my mind was blown. I saw this guy basically wave his hands, put people into a trance, and then all of a sudden they became like his puppets, and they were doing all these kinds of wild, wacky, and crazy things. I was amazed. And I was also so enthralled, I wanted to learn as much as I could about it. So I went home, I told my parents what I had seen, so they started buying me books about hypnosis. But there weren't books at that time about stage hypnosis. There were books about clinical hypnosis, hypnotherapy, psychology, and the power of the mind. So I became so fascinated, I started reading through all these books, and I was so interested in it, I understood everything. It was almost like for once, this was made for me. They considered me to be a child prodigy of hypnosis. Around the time that I read my first book about hypnosis, I taught myself the power and the science and the art of self-hypnosis. Yes, I taught myself how to hypnotize myself. And as a byproduct of that, I became a more successful student. Now, was it as easy as putting myself into a trance and telling myself I'll be a better student? No, it wasn't that easy. I had to identify some key areas as to where I was feeling stuck. And that's exactly what I do with my clients now and the people who are in my programs. I first identify key areas of where people are feeling stuck. Now, when I was a kid and I started hypnotizing myself, some of the things I would hypnotize myself for was to improve my focus and my concentration, to improve my motivation and also my memory recall abilities, and also to boost my confidence. And this was great because I went to school and I was like a new person. And after about 3 weeks, my grades started improving so much that the teachers would call my parents and they said, hey, something's up with Dan. And like, what do you mean? They said, we think he's cheating because he's doing too well. There's no way he could go from down there to up here in just a matter of a couple of weeks. So my parents were honest. They said, no, we're encouraging him. He's learning hypnosis and he's hypnotizing himself. Well, I had a couple of teachers that were really interested in it. So they actually allowed me to hypnotize some other students that were going through the same challenges I was going through. And guess what? It worked. And then from there, I started learning more about stage hypnosis, and I would use hypnosis for fun. And by the time I was 15 years old, I was hypnotizing auditoriums and theaters of 500 or 600 students at a time. And I would teach people the same things I taught to myself: how to have a superpower memory, how to focus, how to concentrate, how to be more confident, how to accept themselves, all things that teenagers had problems with. It worked so well that I was getting booked to do this at 3 to 4 schools a week. By the time I was 20 years old, I'd already been in the newspapers and magazines, on TV, interviews up the wazoo, and I'd already hypnotized over 10,000 people. That was pretty cool. I often reflect on those days because that's where it all started. And after I started hypnotizing students and seeing all the great results and people coming up to me literally in tears of how good they felt after this presentation, I realized that there's got to be something else to this. So then I started hypnotizing athletes, and I worked with some really high-performing athletes in some pretty famous athletic teams as their CMO, their Chief Mindset Officer. And I started teaching everybody the same thing I taught myself: self-hypnosis and how to hypnotize themselves. Hell, I even got asked to do a TED Talk, and I did a TED Talk, and to date, it's gotten over 30 million views across different social media platforms. So the power of self-hypnosis, it literally changed my life. And I think in many ways it saved my life. Whenever I had a challenge that I was dealing with, I'd go back to the basics and I'd do my self-hypnosis strategies that I did on myself when I was 12 years old. And guess what? It worked. That's what built my hypnosis practice. That's what helped me write books. That's what helped me lose a bunch of weight and get in some of the best shape of my life. That's what helped me come out of my shell. That's what even helped me get out of some toxic relationships. And it helped me maintain my sanity. So you may be hearing this saying, wow, Dan, you're talking a lot about your story. And I am, because it's important for you to see how this developed for me so you can see how it can develop for you. So I then started working with entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives, even politicians, and some D-list and B-list celebrities. And the results just spoke for themselves. So how can you now use hypnosis so that you can be more successful? Well, first, it's all about self-discovery. It's about doing some deep discovery and insight with yourself, to asking yourself, what do I need to improve on? What do I need to do that I haven't been doing in order to be more successful? But it starts even before that. What is success to me? Now, some people watching this video might think it's all about money. And it's not about money for everybody. I'm working with people in my program right now, some of which are multimillionaires. And guess what? It's not about making more millions for them. For them, success is peace of mind and being able to lay their head down on their pillow at night, knowing they did the right thing, knowing that they can turn their brain off from work and be present with their family, that they can enjoy their family vacations and really appreciate the time that they have with the people that they care about. For other people, it really is about doing more that's going to help them make more money and feel more wealthy and be able to provide more for their families. And in that aspect, it's about, okay, what do I need to be doing them not doing? And it's not just about doing. It's about starting before that. What do I need to be thinking to help me feel better about what I need to be doing? So if you're struggling with something right now, to help break the pattern of that struggle, ask yourself, what do I need to be thinking to help me feel better? What do I need to be feeling to help me do better? And what do I need to be doing in order to help me be more successful? Those are 3 questions that will hypnotize you to gain insight. Because what it does, it helps you go on an inner derivational search. The reason why you're not more successful is because you have limiting beliefs and you have these old, outdated programs that just keep running through your mind, ruining your performance. And it could be performance in business. It could be performance with working out. It could be performance with running a marathon. It could be performance in a relationship. It could be performance in your business or your career. But there's something in your cabeza that's keeping you stuck in place. And if that's the case, then that's where these 3 empowering questions can help. What do I need to be thinking in order to be feeling better? What do I need to be feeling in order to be doing better? And what do I need to be doing in order to be more successful? You see, those questions cause your mind to do an inner search to come up with the answer. Now, make sure you force yourself to come up with any other answer other than I don't know. Do not allow that to be an answer. And if I don't know comes up, well, if you did know. You see, a big part of what I help people do is challenge themselves and challenge their own belief systems. And I really put people through the ringer, and I'm very passionate about helping people become more successful. Another part of the process is emotional control. When you're not feeling good, guess what's happening? You're not doing the shit you need to do in order to be more successful. And yeah, there are some times where I don't feel like sending an email, where I feel like I have nothing to say. There are some times I don't feel like recording a video. I don't feel like pushing the record button. But guess what? I reach down inside myself and I pull upon that strength and I do it anyway. And I teach my clients to do the same thing. So, can you really use hypnosis to be more successful? Yes, absolutely. You can use it to be more successful. And one of the ways that we hypnotize ourselves are through the questions that we ask ourselves. But guess what? It's not just about hypnotizing you to be more successful. It's about unhypnotizing you from the programs and from the trances that you've been placed in. Because many of us are trying to solve adult problems with childlike resources. And that's no bueno, my friend. That's not going to get you anywhere. Solving adult problems with childlike resources and childlike belief systems, simply, it's not going to work. It's not going to help you succeed, and it's not going to do you any favors. So that's where I use hypnosis to do a lot of deep inner work to rewire people's limiting belief systems and turn them into empowering belief systems. So for example, let's say you have money blocks or success blocks. Guess where those came from? Those came from childhood. They came from what you saw, who you learned from. And those programs became generalized, and we need to break those programs. So one of the ways that I use hypnosis to break those programs, I already said, questions. I have a way of asking you questions that warrant subconscious responses. And those, what I call them discovery or insight questions, actually give you real valid results. And I push you, I challenge you to hold you accountable as well, because it's too easy to just give up. It's too easy to fall into those old programs. So that's why it's about using different levels of mind to help high performance be your default. So even when you don't feel like it, you still fucking do it. It's my goal to help you embrace your inner badass. And a big part of this is about emotional control as well and state control. But guess what? We don't have to go through years of therapy in order to make a difference. You don't have to go to a therapist's office and cry your little eyes out every Tuesday at 2 p.m. in order to get a change. The real powerful shift, it happens in the subconscious mind. And that's why it's so important that we not just activate the subconscious mind, but we also work with the conscious mind, and we also work with the nervous system as well. So again, one very simple way that you can hypnotize yourself to get better results and be even more successful are through the questions that you ask yourself. Rewind back a few minutes and listen to those questions again. In fact, I'll say them again for the third or fourth time. What do I need to be thinking in order to feel better? what do I need to be feeling in order to be doing better, and what I need to be doing in order to be more successful. Just by highlighting those and just by becoming aware of those, you see, awakening your awareness is going to help motivate, inspire, and empower you. So the things that used to bother you no longer do like they did before. Now, there are many versions and styles of hypnosis, and I incorporate most of them into my practice and what I'm using because I use an integrated protocol. And I think most hypnotists should, but most hypnotists don't because they don't know how to integrate all of these other protocols into what they're doing. So, my friends, you can use hypnosis to be even more successful. One of the easiest ways to hypnotize yourself is to ask yourself better questions, and you're going to get better answers. Another really good way to hypnotize yourself is as you're closing your eyes to fall asleep at night and as you're waking up in the morning, take advantage of those times. They're called hypnagogic states. And we go into this brief hypnosis-like state when we're falling asleep at night and when we're waking up in the morning. So be careful what you think about. You can structure your mind to think about what should I be thinking or what do I really want to achieve and accomplish, and really paint a picture in your mind of what that's going to be like and what it's going to be like for you to be more successful, what success means to you, what you're going to be doing in order to be more successful. And when you paint that picture in your mind, guess what's going to happen? It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're going to awaken your reticular activating system. That's a part of your brain that's responsible for awareness. And you're going to become aware of what you need to be aware of in order to create the opportunities, to have the resources that you need in order to do what you need to do in order to be more successful. So you can start feeling even better about what you're doing to be more successful, and to start thinking even better about how you're feeling about what you're doing to be more successful. That's right. All right, my friends, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, let's talk really quick about a mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is knowing that they're destined for better, but they wait. They wait to reach out for help. And we are conditioned to give ourselves these bullshit excuses like, oh, I'm going to wait until the new year. New year, new me. I hate that. So I'm going to come unhinged for a moment. I'm going to get on my soapbox. No, we tend to all the time, new year, new me. And what that does, it gives us the excuse or conditions us to wait until the perfect time, as if there will be a perfect time. There is never going to be a perfect time. There may be times that are better than others, but don't wait. There's so many people that reach out to me, and when they reach out to me, we could have circumvented so many other problems and challenges from arising. And by the time people reach out, I'm usually their last resort, or it's often they feel like it's too late, and then we have so much more work to do than if they reached out earlier. And sometimes it's just a week or two before people thought they were going to reach out. So the biggest mistake I see people make when trying to make a change is they wait. They wait until the perfect time. And there's not really a perfect time. So here's a couple of steps that you can take. Number one, I am teaching a self-hypnosis and hypnotic connection intensive to help you be more successful. I'm going to help you reprogram your mind just like I taught myself self-hypnosis. It's an intensive that is coming up in December. Make sure you check the link in the description. The second thing you can do is work with me on more of a personal basis. If you would like to work with me on more of a personal basis, I require you to apply for my more personalized program. So that way we can hit the ground running and not have to wait till New Year's, not have to wait until after the holidays. Make sure you get your head on straight, make sure you get your mind in gear, and make sure you start reprogramming your mind before everybody else starts. That's going to give you the competitive advantage. When you start working on you before everybody else does, when they say new year, new me. Oh, good grief. All right, my friends, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and let me know what you thought of the video. And be nice, be kind. I have feelings too. All right. With that said, be well, do good, be true to who you are, and happy healing.